Hey guys, and welcome back to this channel. I hope your 2022 has started nicely and in good health, or whatever year you're watching this. So welcome back. Today I'm just going to tackle a topic that really is quite a common mistake. It's number 14 in my top Amazon PPC mistakes series, which is not waiting long enough. And of course we're going to address what is long enough and how do I really know that, and truly understanding that basically to me is halfway to becoming a true master of Amazon PPC, right? So that's what we're going to look at today. When you see these kind of figures, right, you filter by 0 orders, you look at the whole lifetime time frame, and you see these targets that just haven't gotten an order yet. What are you going to do? How many more clicks are you going to give them? Well, I prepared a little sheet here for you to make that clear. So, the magic KPI that we're going to look at, especially, of course, is the conversion rate, right? Here we have two example ASINs with a conversion rate of 10% and 20%. And what does that tell us? Well, on average, it means for the 10% conversion rate product, we can expect 1 order every 10 clicks. Now, that is of course just the average. It doesn't mean that exactly every 10th click there must be an order for that particular target. That is not what it means. It's just the average. And to make that more statistical, what I generally advise is to simply take that number times 2, and then you kind of have a statistically relevant figure after which you can say, okay, for this product with that average conversion rate, I would expect an order every 20 clicks, right? The one with 20% conversion rate, you expect kind of an order every 5 clicks on average. But to make it more statistical, we're going to say we expect an order every 10 clicks. However, that is just kind of the simple part. I believe the thing that most people that are, let's say, semi-advanced or even pro-advanced already know, right? You need the conversion rate to know how many clicks you should wait in general before pausing targets, before putting search terms to negative. However, and that's the main thing I want to really make you understand in this video and to really help you move on with your ads, is this is just the average overall conversion rate, right? Let's say you got it from the business reports, which you get via reports and then business reports, which, by the way, I don't know how new this is, but you can now bookmark it and it will appear up here. That's pretty neat. And yeah, then on the business reports, you want to see that performance by ASIN, right? And so you go here to detail page, sales and traffic, which will give you your unit session percentage. This is actually, to be very exact, not quite the conversion rate that we need for this particular topic or this particular question. This is more the conversion rate that we need when it comes to kind of figuring out the bid levels that we're gonna use, but that's a topic for another video. What we would actually need is in fact the order session percentage, so how many orders per session, or basically how many orders per clicks we can expect. So for that you would just have to download this report and then calculate this column divided by the sessions, so this column, right? And that will give you this conversion rate that we're talking about. And that brings me back to my main point of this video. You have to expect different conversion rates for different kind of campaigns, for different kinds of ad types, different types of targets, different types of match types, basically different types of relevance within your targets. So naturally, your highly super relevant keywords that you usually have in exact keyword campaigns, right? They will have a higher conversion rate than the average, right? So there you can even expect a little bit more. However, a lot of traffic that, also makes up this conversion rate in those business reports is coming from, less relevant traffic, which may come from your campaigns that are targeting people more up the funnel, right? Which are targeting more broader audiences. For example, your automatic campaigns. There, of course, you should not expect a order after every 10 clicks, and also not after every 20 clicks for your close target, for example. It's just not going to be, you cannot, calculate with that 10% conversion rate. That's just not how it is, because that close target is targeting so many search terms and ASINs broadly that, many of them are just not going to be relevant. At least not as relevant as your super relevant keywords that you have in your exact campaign, right? So there, of course, you have to expect a lower conversion rate. Typically, if you don't already know that somehow, perhaps from similar products where you already have an automatic campaign, for example, then, I just take some percentage off, let's say 3% in this case. So I just calculate with 7% for this automatic campaign, which means that if I do the same calculation, right, times 2, etc., I have to wait at least 29 clicks. So that would be the number of clicks where I would expect an order to happen for that target. Actually, with automatic campaigns, it's a little bit more extreme, I would say, than with other campaign types. There, I typically wait even longer, because you really should actually go into the search term reports and see which search terms are getting that traffic. Maybe it's only 1 or 2 that are just not relevant, and you put them to negative, but the target itself, you want to give many more clicks to actually prove itself. And especially with automatic campaigns, you can of course expect Amazon to kind of learn what is actually relevant, what is your product, to better understand your product, and it will eventually get you those orders, right? This will be different for all kinds of campaigns. Perhaps a broad, keyword campaign, depending on whether you're putting in the super relevant keywords as broad, will be a little bit different, or you're putting like upper funnel, more generic keywords in there as broad to reach a broader audience even. There, of course, you have to again expect a lower conversion rate. So just having that understanding and not going crazy with the pausing and the negative search terms right after, let's say 10 clicks in this example, just because your average conversion rate is 10%, that is going to get you a long way to getting significant sales. And, if you understand how many clicks you actually need, of course, you're going to start with lower bids for the campaigns with a lower expected conversion rate, right? So point number 1 of this video, you don't want to pause things too early. You can actually hurt your profits if you do that, because you are stealing your future revenue, which is bound to come. You just have to be a bit more patient, okay? And point number 2 of this video, you also have to check, is it really the target's fault, right? It could be various other reasons, especially in the automatic campaign or broad campaigns or category campaigns. Look at the search term and ASIN reports. Look which ones are actually getting the clicks. Are they relevant? And then put those to negative, right? So, that's just really important to understand. It's not always the target's fault itself. There could be other circumstances. Also check the placement performance. Perhaps, your placement modifier is just not high enough for top of search. And for some targets, it's just not going to be a high enough bid level to compete in the top of search placement. So you want to look into that. And also for sponsored display, sponsored brand, sponsored video ads, it could also be your content, your copy, your headline, your image, which is just not convincing enough, right? So that could also improve the conversion rate, the orders of that particular target itself. And it's not actually the target itself, which is not relevant to your product, right? So in most cases, I really Don't recommend pausing things if there's some kind of relevance, or even putting things to negative. You can still work with it simply with a lower bid, simply by knowing that, yes, this is normal. For this type of campaign, I am expecting a much lower conversion rate. Of course, I want to be waiting more clicks. And of course, I want to be paying much less per click because, yeah, I just need more clicks to get that order, right? The same would be for like retargeting campaigns or even audience campaigns. Of course, the conversion rate will be much lower. So, bid much lower and wait many more clicks. It's really very simple, but once you truly understand that, then I think it's very hard to, not run profitable ads, or at least not run ads that meet your profitability goals, whatever it may be, simply because you have an understanding of that conversion rate. And yeah, I hope I got that message over to you. Just maybe one quick mention in case you want to make it a bit easier for yourself to get that conversion rate, right? The actual orders per session. So if you have a tool such as one of these Amazon profit softwares, you may want to look for one that also offers you the conversion rate, right? Maybe they're only looking at the conversion rate from PPC, but still they give it to you on ASIN level. So that is certainly something very useful to have. And also where this knowledge that you then have comes in handy is, of course, in your Amazon advertising softwares. And there especially tools that actually have custom rules to, pause targets. Again, I would be very careful with that. But if you're going to use it simply because you maybe, have too many campaigns to control and you just want to scale up, then yeah, look out for these kind of tools and then use the number that you calculate, and then be very wary of how many clicks you set in those rules. Okay, if no orders after so and so many clicks, then put it to negative or pause the target. Well, really make sure you know those numbers before you do that action. And definitely, like I said, I would always take that number times 2 to really make that statistically relevant. Okay. Also important for the tools that offer here this negative target automation. So here again, you can have a look at those for both advertising and profit softwares. I will leave you the ones that do have these rules in place in the links description and the comment area. So have a look out for those as well. And yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. And if you want to stick around, of course, you know what to do, right? There's more mistakes to come by. This is surprisingly only mistake number 14, right? We still have a whole lot of the top 10 coming by, which are really big mistakes that you should know about. And yeah, speaking of these overviews, by the way, for any new viewers, you might want to watch this video and this video. And I'm also going to do an overview about all the Amazon SEO tools very soon. I'm in the research phase right now. So yeah, stick around and I believe it will be worth it. All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.